All right, from Justin to Cully, it is July 26, 2021. I thought today was a fun show for a Monday. What'd you think?
Today was really, really fun. I mean, Kirk came in. He seemed to be in a chipper mood. He, had. I think the thing he said at the beginning, where it's like, "Dave, what are you doing tonight?" was very funny.
Now that was strange.
So I was ready for, "What are you doing tonight?" You and Justin are doing like absolutely nothing.
Yes.
And just get completely railroaded. But
yeah.
I went the complete opposite.
Or I thought, and it turned out to be somewhat factual. I thought like, or you have plans, you're going to do X. Like he was ready to tell us, or we missed something completely that we should have been on. Turned out it was a conference call. We actually just got off it. He was on it. I was on it, talking about the Julie DeCaro case. We will talk all about that, I'm sure, on Monday, or he'll talk about it on Monday. But I will just say this. I left with one takeaway, and I know you were in the other room with headphones on and stuff like that. Erica Nardini, the CEO of Barstool Sports, has Kirk Minahan's back.
Of course. Yeah. I mean, I think you don't even need to like hear that out of the attorneys from how she's acted this past, let's say, year.
Yep.
She has Kirk's back and KMS's back 100%.
It is remarkable. So there's no better company to work for than Barstool Sports when you're going through a situation like this.
Whenever you're going through any situation.
I agree there. All right. So we didn't really get in too much with the Julie DeCaro stuff today. We touched on Jerry America, who made a reappearance today, not just on the Greg Hill show. Jerry finally responded to it. Jerry being Jerry didn't have a problem with it.
Yeah, I mean, Jerry's not going to go at that show. That's just not who he is. That's not who his show is. You just look at like the difference between KMS and the Jerry Callahan program. It's just they're two complete opposites when it comes to quote unquote going to war.
It is funny though, because they both kind of had the same mentality of like, when Curtis worked for us, he was our pit bull. Now he works for somebody else. He's somebody else's pit bull. However that, like he's not a pit bull in the Greg Hill world, but he works for him. He's dedicated to them. And they kind of have this, I'm not going to say respect, but they understand the mentality. Jerry's takeaway, if you didn't hear it on Jerry's show this morning, was basically, the imitation sucked and I don't care. And by the way, I know somebody who does care, and if you want to go at Kirk Minahan, he's going to handle it a lot differently than I would.
I mean, okay. But it was almost like he thought I was going to be, I'm like, fucking, that's how you feel. What am I going to do? Like, do you have a sound or no?
They live in fear of Minahan. They live in fear of what will happen if they go after him. So, yeah, this is a good question. Why don't you go after him, guys?
Yeah, I mean, Jerry's not going to go at that show. It's just not who he is. That's not who his show is. You just look at like the difference between KMS and the Jerry Callahan program. It's just they're two complete opposites when it comes to quote unquote going to war.
It is funny though, because they both kind of had the same mentality of like, when Curtis worked for us, he was our pit bull. Now he works for somebody else. He's somebody else's pit bull. However that, like he's not a pit bull in the Greg Hill world, but he works for him. He's dedicated to them. And they kind of have this, I'm not going to say respect, but they understand the mentality. Jerry's takeaway, if you didn't hear it on Jerry's show this morning, was basically, the imitation sucked and I don't care. And by the way, I know somebody who does care, and if you want to go at Kirk Minahan, he's going to handle it a lot differently than I would.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like he's passing it off to Kirk and be like, hey, I mean, if Kirk and his fans want to fight this fight, go for it.
I would say this, because there's a lot being made up of, does Dave hate Matt Carano and this and that? Matt Carano was more fired up about Jerry Callahan, the imitation of Jerry Callahan, than Jerry Callahan was.
Yes.
I'll say that today. So he's got Jerry Callahan's back, and so I'll give him credit there. I did get taken down a notch because I did say that you and he went to a personal level with Curtis over the weekend, and you lived and learned, right? Not a big deal. That's what Kirk did not like your tweet.
Yeah, I mean, he said he wasn't too fond of it. I mean, I don't think Kirk was like,
you took it to another level because you hate him.
I mean, I'll if I think you're an enemy of the Kirk Minahan show and Kirk, I will go.
You went there.
Cut through.
You went there. And Carano's was fine. I looked at Carano's first, and I thought to myself, like, why bring that up? Because because Curtis is just going after Jerry's content. But the reality is, Curtis did make his alcoholism part of the content. So I thought those were fair arguments all around everyone made there.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably like back off next time a little bit.
Yeah, you live and learn.
But yeah, so live and learn, like you said.
All right, I thought the most memorable moment of today, and I actually can't wait to go back and listen to it, is the call to Kirk's favorite grocery store. How we got there was the reporter who asked Javal McGee, right?
JaVale McGee.
Is it Javel or Javal?
JaVale.
Spells with an A though, not E at the.
Yes, it's JaVale McGee.
Javel? Okay, I'm not a basketball guy. Javel McGee, the reporter asked him, is your mother alive? Well, not only is she alive, one, it's a fucked up question. Two, she's a former gold medal winner, so all you got to do is click Wikipedia on her. Like, you should, that's easily found information, so the reporter is an absolute crazy person. We barely talked about that actual incident and story. We played the sound. But Kirk's first reaction was, "Well, go call a number and let's see if their parent is alive." So we called a couple numbers, didn't get any answers, and then we called his favorite grocery store in Iowa, and holy shit,
My mom is dead. My mom died of pancreatic cancer in June of.
Good stuff.
Oh, what
good
the
stuff.
fuck? Why turn it on
How
me?
about
You
that?
don't have to taunt me.
How about your dad?
Is your mom alive or
Your
dead?
dad's alive?
Dead or
Your
alive?
dad's alive?
Dead or
Your
alive?
dad's alive.
Dead or alive?
Your dad's alive.
Dead or alive?
Your dad is still alive.
My dad is dead. Is your
How
dad?
about your girlfriend?
What the
She's
fuck?
alive?
What do you want? This is my favorite supermarket. What the fuck are you
How about
doing?
you?
was whoever answered the phone. I couldn't even tell if it was a
Crazy.
guy or a woman. I couldn't tell.
I thought it was a woman listening, but now I listened back and I think it might be a man.
I thought it was a guy, but then you said earlier that you thought it was, whatever. Either way, we'll both listen back, but that person was a character. Hand completely turned it around on us. We don't know if his mother is alive or not because he turned it on Kirk, or she turned it on Kirk, and it just became this entire like ordeal.
I swear to God, Kirk must plant these calls somewhere because there's no chance. Like the hospital, the I have cancer lady, today's call, Stacy, just all these people. The show calls just turn into major characters.
Well, you were here. I mean, that was not a planted call. I was here. I called the number. That was just
It's
out of the blue.
crazy.
That person was an absolute character, had a blast with it. So that was funny. I can't personally wait to go back and listen to that segment. All right, let's get into the a couple other things that happened. Paul Dupont, his deleted tweet over the weekend. We called Dupes. I forgot his nickname's Dupes, which is just kind of funny to me. We called him, and what did he say? Oh no, Kirk. Kirk faked that he was like a sports reporter, and they had a pre-scheduled interview. He wasn't biting on whether or not he would, come on and do the interview, but then obviously says, no, it's Kirk Minahan. Why'd you delete the tweet?
Hello.
Hi, this is John Tannerton from HockeyDraft.net. You said you were going to join us for the show?
I don't remember that, frankly.
Oh, can we get 5 minutes for you? Just record it for 5 minutes. We just have a couple questions about the draft.
You know, I can't do it right now. I'm sorry if there's been some mix-up here, but
Can you just talk about that weird tweet you had the other day you deleted though, Kevin? I mean, it's Kirk Minahan. Can you talk about that? I mean, it was really embarrassing.
Kirk. Please, Kirk.
Well, Kevin, what was that tweet about?
And he says, oh no, come on, Kirk. Or something
And,
along
he
those lines.
just hangs out. Which
Yes.
is just, like he hang out with like a smug look on his face. Too.
Yes.
Like, oh, I can't believe I'm being bothered by this radio jockey.
Yes. So we didn't get anything out of him, unfortunately. It would have been nice to try to dive into that tweet that he had over the weekend. That he deleted, that nobody will talk about, right? Nobody will report that a journalist makes put some obscure tweet out there and then deletes it. Nobody will talk about it. But
Yeah.
all right, the other thing that happened on today's show that we touched on too, we touched on Tucker Carlson. He got called out at a fly fishing shop. The only thing that really we kind of bashed about it was the fact that like people on the right now want to cancel the guy just for calling Tucker Carlson the worst person on planet Earth or whatever the exact quote was. That's just bullshit. We're not getting into cancel culture because the guy took advantage of an opportunity to call out somebody he hated. It is
Freedom
what
of
it is.
speech, baby.
There you go. It's freedom of speech. We asked Kirk, has he ever had a situation like that? He gave one example. It was at a Patriots game, right?
Yes.
It was at a
In
Patriots
the bathroom.
and it wasn't even that big of a deal. So even Kirk, it was in the bathroom, wasn't a big deal. This guy, to your point, you brought it up after the show, like this guy was ready to go. Tucker was there. He's ready to call him out. Had the person get the camera out. Let's go.
Yeah. The thing with Kirk is I thought he was originally going to bring up a Brian Riccio type.
Yep.
About someone who confronts him and says like, you're the worst person imaginable. You're so racist, blah, blah, blah. But then like you think about it, like Tucker Carlson was just brought up. Like this wasn't like an enemy of his. This was
Yes.
just a random guy.
Yes. Well, that's I guess it is. There's really not too much to add to it. It was just kind of like an is what it is situation that kind of went viral and things like that. And Tucker Carlson kind of kept his cool. Besides, what do you call him? Son in the clip? Is that what he said?
Something like that. Yeah.
Son.
I mean, the guy's not a hero like the far left is making him out to be, but he's also not a, Nazi,
Yes.
evil person like the right is making him out to be. It's just like, yeah, some people say shitty things sometimes.
Yes. So what's to wrap this bad boy up? I think callers wise today, I think the callers were okay, right? Nothing too notable except for we think it was the Blind Mike's penis guy, right?
Yeah,
Called it
he
at some
sounded
point.
very similar to him.
Yep.
Hey there, fellas. Is this the Dave Cullinane show featuring Kirk Minahan?
What's up?
First time, long time. Kirk, I hear you're on the dozen today.
That's correct. First time caller, yes.
I'm very excited for you. A couple tips.
Sure, I appreciate
So
that.
for Gay Pat, he's a very versatile player. So you're going to want to slap your dick around.
I'm sorry?
Let him slap his dick around a little. He's a versatile player. Am I speaking English?
I mean, some people just. I know we were talking quickly. Drunk Greg Hill.
Yes.
We saw on Twitter. He tried calling in and he said he was on hold for 35 minutes.
Yes.
So what you do is you just will sometimes let new callers come in.
Yes, I tried to take priority because at least a couple weeks ago I saw that all the calls were people that have called in over 100 times. So when somebody's new, I try to give them a little priority. We can get into the debate of whether that's a good strategy or not. If Kirk, it's really Kirk's decision. If he wants it to be first come first serve, I'll change it in a heartbeat. I just wanted to get a couple new callers in, and there were new numbers. And by the way, it could be somebody who calls in just from a different phone line. It could be a Google Voice number too. So I don't care. That was just my mentality, is kind of bob around to people who haven't called a lot. And the phone lines actually were, once we got past that first few minutes of taking a couple minutes to fill up, they were jammed the entire time. I think there was 5 full lines the entire time.
Yeah, I think I would say, if I were to give you a suggestion, is probably just go by first come first serve.
Okay. I mean, I like bringing new people into the mix, though.
Yeah.
That guy probably took forever to get on for the first time. He'd probably like to know that other people got in there.
I bet you he wouldn't.
No?
No, I bet you. I mean, Drunk Greg Hill is so funny. These Donald Trump callers, just classic characters.
All right, well, I own it. I don't know. I don't know who you are when you call. I just see the number. And yes, I saw the time on hold, but I wanted to get other people in. I weave and bob between all the different numbers that come in.
Stop letting Jay on.
There you go. Oh, Jay, I don't know Jay's number, though.
You just got to stop.
And I don't block. You can't block people. You just can't. I don't know Jay's number, though. All right. Anything else that we missed today that I'm sure, like I said, we'll do a wrap up of the call that Kirk will probably talk about on Wednesday. Anything else that we missed from the show today?
Real quick, I just want to mention that I am, for those of you who watch the YouTube live, I understand that when I am clipping something, for some reason the broadcast gets all skippy and things of that nature. I will be looking into that, to fixing that tonight and tomorrow.
Yes, you said that after the show. I don't know why that's the case.
Neither do I.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to we'll talk to people at Barstool, see if they've had a similar problem and how to fix that. Because right now there's really no way around it. You have the same computer doing kind of 2 different things at one time. So I don't know. It's more technical than whatever we described it as. So whatever. All right, cool. So we'll be back on Wednesday. Tomorrow you will have a wrap-up show with somebody else. So we look forward to that. And the show will be back 10 a.m. Wednesday live on YouTube. You'll see it because I'll tag Kirk in it and then he'll retweet it. That was actually something on the show that came up, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think Kirk gives enough promotion for the show and things.
Oh, don't be a fucking kiss ass.
No,
Yes.
I do. I mean, I think it would be disingenuous if every single tweet the show had.
No, it's not Kirk.
Show.
It's not Kirk. It's not Kirk. But to think our wrap up show is going to get a lot of views today, unless Kirk retweets it, is nonsense.
Well, yeah, but also if Kirk retweets every single wrap-up show, people are going to be like, "Why the fuck
Why
is
are
Kirk
you
retweeting
retweeting
every single wrap-up?"
All right,
show?
listen. I just brought something to the table. All right, I just made a little argument, and then you work it out. That's all that happens.
I love it.
All right, we'll be back Wednesday.
Bye.